Welcome to Starbound Valor HFY. Subscribe now and dive into daily epic sci-fi adventures, where humanity always rises. The night over Earth looked calm, but deep inside the Space Monitoring Center, nothing was normal. Alarms were off, lights were steady, and people were working quietly, but something invisible was moving through space toward Earth. Dr. Rian, the chief scientist, stared at his screen with widening eyes. He had been listening to space signals for 20 years, but he had never seen anything like this. A strange coded signal was repeating in a perfect pattern, almost like someone knocking on Earth's door. The message was not friendly, and it was not random. It felt alive, as if someone was watching Earth very closely. Rian zoomed in on the signal again and again, trying to understand its meaning. But every time he decoded a part, the message changed shape and created new puzzles. Something intelligent was behind this signal, something patient and extremely powerful. The room grew quiet as more scientists gathered around him. They all felt something cold in their chests. This signal was a warning, but not the type used by normal alien empires. It was too controlled, too focused, too perfect. Rian played the message again. 3 tones. Pause. 3 tones. Another pause. Then a deep, low sound that felt like a heartbeat. No one spoke until one young scientist whispered, "Sir, I think it is a countdown." The moment he said it, everyone felt the air freeze. A countdown to what? War? Destruction? Invasion? Rian checked the timing, and his face turned pale. The countdown would end in 13 minutes. Across Earth, military bases received alerts. Governments woke up presidents, commanders, and ministers. Jets moved to the sky. Satellites changed positions. Every radar pointed outward, but no one could find the source of the signal. It was like the message was coming from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. People on Earth felt something wrong without even knowing the reason. Pets hid, birds flew in strange patterns, and the wind felt heavier. The countdown dropped quickly. 10 minutes left. 9, 8. Scientists tried to stop the signal, block it, jam it, anything, but nothing worked. The message passed through every defense, like water through fingers. Then the Earth Shield network activated, covering the planet in a thin, protective layer of energy. It was the strongest defense modern humans had, but Rian knew it would not be enough if the signal meant danger. The countdown reached 3 minutes. Suddenly, the sky around Earth began to twist. Bright dots appeared like stars breaking open. Something massive was entering the solar system. At first it looked like small objects, but they kept growing, spreading across the darkness until the entire sky looked full of glowing hail. A hail made of alien energy spheres. Thousands of them. Millions maybe. They moved slowly, like they were choosing where to strike. Earth's military panicked. Space Command shouted orders, but nothing moved fast enough. One commander said, "Prepare for impact." Another yelled, "Raise all shields to maximum." But Rian kept staring at the countdown. 30 seconds left. 20. 10. 5. Everyone held their breath. The hail of alien spheres suddenly rushed toward Earth, blazing with blue and white fire. People screamed. Radios broke. Satellites shook. The energy hail was only seconds away from destroying cities, oceans, everything. And then it stopped. Every single alien sphere froze in midspace, perfectly still, as if someone pressed pause on the universe. Soldiers stared in shock. Civilians ran outside and looked up at the sky with fear. The alien hail hovered silently above Earth, glowing like an angry storm that refused to fall. Earth's defenses did not stop it. Nothing humans did stopped it. Something else intervened. Before anyone could understand what was happening, a deep voice echoed across every device on the planet. Phones, screens, radios, even old machines that should not have worked. The voice was cold, heavy, and filled with power. Humans obey us or be destroyed. The message repeated, shaking the world. The alien hail flashed brighter, waiting for Earth's answer. But Earth did not respond. Not immediately. Far below the surface, deeper than any city or military base, a giant circular chamber slowly lit up after centuries of silence. Massive stone metal doors opened with a roar. 7 enormous pillars rose in the center, glowing with ancient runes. And inside the chamber, the human Supreme Council awakened. Their eyes opened like burning stars. Their hearts beat like thunder. They had slept for hundreds of years, waiting for a moment like this, waiting for a threat large enough to shake the planet. Now, that moment had arrived. The Earth people above had no idea who they were. The governments did not control them. No army commanded them. They answered only to one thing: the protection of humanity. As the alien hail hung frozen in the sky, and the galaxy waited for Earth's surrender, the Supreme Council stepped forward. One of them whispered, "So they finally dare to threaten Earth." The others answered with a single powerful line, "Then let us show them why the stars fear humanity." And with that, Earth's true power finally awakened. Deep beneath Earth's surface, the chamber of the Supreme Council glowed brighter as ancient systems awakened for the first time in centuries. Giant screens floated into the air, showing thousands of alien spheres frozen above Earth like a silent storm, each one powerful enough to destroy a city. The world above had no idea why they stopped, but the Council knew exactly what happened. They had locked the alien hail in place by activating one of Earth's hidden protocols, Protocol Silence, a defensive field older than any human nation. The Council members stood in a circle, their shadows long and sharp under the blue light. They looked human, but their presence felt far stronger, almost overwhelming, like they carried the weight of forgotten ages. High Chancellor Arion, the eldest of them, placed his hand on the command pillar. His voice was calm, but the air vibrated with power. "The aliens have revealed themselves," he said, "but they underestimate Earth. They think humans are weak. They think we will bow." His eyes shifted to the floating screens, showing panicked military commanders shouting orders, civilians running through streets, and world leaders desperately trying to understand the frozen alien threat. Arion spoke again, softer now. "They do not know that we exist." Another council member, Ceres, stepped forward. Her eyes were sharp like blades. "Should we speak to them?" she asked. But Arion raised a hand. "Not yet. Let them drown in fear. Silence is our weapon." Above ground, Earth was chaos. Fighter jets circled helplessly under the alien hail, unsure whether to fight or flee. Commanders tried everything: laser strikes, energy bursts, missiles. But none of their weapons reached the spheres. It was like they were hitting an invisible wall. The president of the United Earth Alliance paced inside the crisis chamber, shouting into the communication lines. "Why are they not moving? Who stopped them? What force is doing this?" But no one had answers. Only Rian, the scientist who first discovered the countdown, had a small idea. "Something on Earth, or under Earth, stopped them," he whispered. No one listened. No one suspected the truth. Meanwhile, the aliens grew confused. Their hail weapons hung in the sky, but they could not move them. They tried pulling them back. They tried detonating them. They tried breaking the freeze by using extra power. But nothing worked. The alien commander, hidden far beyond Earth's orbit inside a massive warship shaped like a black crescent, slammed his claws against the control table. "What is stopping our attack?" he roared. "Humans are primitive. They should not have this ability." His officers trembled. Their scans showed a strange energy rising from Earth's core, something too powerful, too controlled, and too ancient. Something not created by modern Earth. "Commander, we must be careful," one officer said with shaking breath. "Whatever is freezing our weapons, it is not normal technology." The commander growled low. "Then push harder. Force the attack." But every command they sent to the hail simply died in the air. It was as if Earth itself refused to be harmed. Back inside the Supreme Council chamber, Sarah smiled faintly. "They are trying to break the freeze." Arion replied, "Let them try." The council raised their hands together, and the room filled with deep humming energy. A secret network of ancient machines hidden under continents, oceans, and mountains activated. These machines formed a hidden shield far more powerful than the Earth Shield network known to modern humans. The Council watched as the alien efforts failed again and again. To them, the alien fleet was like a child trying to break a stone with paper. "They think we are the Earth of today," Sarah said. "They do not realize we are the Earth of before." While the Council monitored everything, a sudden alarm flashed across their screens. More alien ships had arrived in the solar system, hundreds of them, surrounding Earth slowly like wolves planning to attack a trapped animal. The Supreme Council did not panic. Arion simply whispered, "Good. Let them gather." On the surface, however, the new ships caused even greater fear. Cities went into lockdown. Governments ordered people indoors. Rian stared at the sky, unable to believe what he was seeing. Why are the aliens just waiting? He thought. Why won't they attack? The answer was simple. They couldn't. In the alien warship, the commander finally realized something terrifying. "We are not fighting modern humans," he muttered. "We are fighting something older, something hidden, something dangerous." He ordered his officers to scan the planet again, but before they could finish, every alien ship suddenly lost half of its power. Lights dimmed, engines slowed, weapons went offline. Alarm screamed. "What is happening?" the officers shouted. But the commander felt it. The Supreme Council had just sent a silent pulse, small, gentle, and invisible. Yet it hit every alien ship like a nightmare. It was only a warning, a tiny taste of what Earth could do. Inside the council chamber, Arion stepped forward and spoke in a deep, commanding voice. "We will not attack yet. We will watch. We will learn their fear. And when the moment is right," his eyes glowed brighter, "we will speak." The other council members nodded. They could feel it coming, the moment when Earth would finally answer the alien threat. For now, the galaxy watched Earth with confusion and fear, not knowing the Supreme Council was already shaping the end of this conflict. And through all this silence, one truth became clear. The aliens were beginning to realize a terrible mistake. They had awakened something they could never control. The Supreme Council chamber hummed with ancient power as Earth remained trapped under the silent storm of frozen alien hail. Above the planet, millions of deadly spheres hung motionless, glowing with cold blue fire, still locked in place by the Council's hidden technology. In space, the alien fleet circled Earth like predators waiting for a moment of weakness. But deep inside their ships, fear had begun to grow. They still had no idea what force had frozen their attack, and every minute of silence made them more nervous. Inside the council chamber, High Chancellor Arion studied the alien formations with calm, sharp eyes. "They believe this is a temporary failure," he said softly. "They think their power will return." Ceres replied, "Then let us show them what real power looks like." The council members raised their hands, and the glowing symbols on the floor brightened until the entire room pulsed like a beating heart. Hidden machines under Earth began to vibrate, sending a tiny ripple upward, so faint that normal humans did not feel it, but strong enough to travel through space like a silent whisper. This ripple reached the alien fleet in less than a second. The alien commander, still shouting at his panicking officers, froze when the lights inside the warship flickered and the metal floor shook. "What now?" he growled, smashing his claws against the table. Before anyone could answer, 3 alien ships suddenly shut down. Just shut down completely. Engines collapsed. Weapons turned off. Navigation died. The ships drifted lifelessly, like empty shells floating through space. The alien officers stared with wide eyes. "Commander, we did nothing." Something hit them. Something invisible. The commander felt cold for the first time. "Track the source," he ordered, but his voice trembled. His officers scanned space again and again, but the results were terrifying. The pulse came from Earth, one officer whispered, but not from their cities, not from their military bases. It came from inside the planet. The commander growled, "Impossible. Humans cannot do this." But the evidence was right in front of him. The aliens had sent a threat. The aliens had sent a hail. But Earth had answered, and the answer was a warning. Meanwhile, on the surface, people looked up at the sky, confused. They didn't know alien ships were shutting down. They didn't know Earth had just sent the first message. They only knew the world felt different, heavier, quieter, more dangerous. At the Space Monitoring Center, Dr. Rian saw something strange on his screen. 3 objects in orbit had gone dark. "Dead." "What happened?" he whispered. "Did Earth do this? Or someone else?" No one around him had answers, but one thing was clear. The aliens were losing control. Back in the council chamber, The screen showed the alien fleet in chaos. Officers ran. Engines tried restarting. Fear spread like fire. Sarah smiled faintly. "Now they know," she said. "They know Earth is not weak." But Arion shook his head. "No, not yet. They are confused, but they still do not fear. They must understand who they are dealing with." He stepped toward the center of the chamber. A massive golden ring lowered from the ceiling, humming with energy. Arion placed his hand inside the ring. Instantly, space itself responded. All alien ships felt a sudden pressure, like gravity increased. Panels cracked. Lights flickered. Systems glitched. The commander screamed, "Shields up! Full power! Resist!" But the ships could not respond fast enough. One by one, their shields collapsed. Not destroyed, just turned off, like someone flicked a switch. Silence spread through the alien fleet again. Terrifying silence. The commander grabbed his officer. "What is happening? Are the humans attacking us?" The officer shook his head. "No, Commander, this is not an attack. They only turned our shields off. If they wanted us dead, they would have destroyed us." And that realization hit the aliens like a blade. The humans, who they believed were weak, slow, primitive, had touched their ships without moving a single Earth weapon. They had shut down 3 warships. They had removed shields. They had done it silently. Inside the council chamber, Arion finally spoke the words he had waited for. "This is our first warning to them. They wanted fear. Let them taste it." Saris turned to the screens. "What if they still attack us?" Arion looked at her with steady eyes. "Then we will show them the second warning." Outside, the alien hail above Earth flickered as the aliens tried desperately to regain control. They pushed commands, screamed orders, tried to force the frozen spheres to move, but nothing changed. The hail stayed locked, like a hand from Earth itself was gripping it tightly. The commander looked at the frozen hail, then at his powerless ships, and for the first time in his life, he whispered, "We picked the wrong planet." The fleet drifted in battle formation, but they no longer looked like hunters. They looked like prey. Down on Earth, Rian stared at the sky and felt a strange sense of hope. Something powerful was protecting them, something older than any human government. He didn't know the Supreme Council existed. No normal human did. But he felt it. The aliens felt it. Even space itself seemed to feel it. The Supreme Council stood in silence, watching the alien fleet fall deeper into fear. They had not fired a weapon. They had not destroyed anything. But they had spoken with power. And their message was clear. Earth was no longer the one being threatened. Earth was the one making the warnings now. The alien fleet, shaken by Earth's silent warning, finally made a desperate decision. If their hail weapons could not move, if their shields could not rise, then they would try something old-fashioned, an invasion on the ground. The alien commander ordered his strongest battalion to prepare. Massive troop carriers, each the size of a skyscraper, detached from the main fleet and pointed their noses toward Earth's atmosphere. They moved slowly at first, then faster, creating bright burning trails as they entered the sky. People on Earth saw the glowing shapes, streaks of fire, falling toward the planet, and panic spread instantly. Sirens screamed in every major city. Military jets launched. Tanks rolled out of hidden bases. Soldiers waited at every border, knowing they might be facing creatures far stronger than humans. Dr. Rian watched from the monitoring center, his heart beating loudly in his chest. He knew the alien ships were coming, but nothing on Earth could stop them. The hail had been frozen, but these troop carriers were free, falling faster, shaking with raw energy. He whispered, "Where's that force that stopped the other ships? Why is it acting now?" But deep below, in the Supreme Council chamber, Arion watched the falling invasion ships with calm eyes. "Let them land," he said. The other council members looked at him in surprise. Saris asked, "Why take the risk?" Arion raised his hand. "They must understand the difference between our power and theirs. If we stop them before they come, they will never learn. But if they see their soldiers defeated without a single fight, then their fear will become complete." The chamber grew quiet. The council agreed. So they waited. The troop carriers pierced through the atmosphere, flames burning around them. People ran through the streets. The army prepared to fire. The alien commander watched through his screens, convinced that Earth's defenses would collapse once his soldiers touched the ground. "Prepare to land," he shouted. "The humans have no chance now." The first carrier dropped lower and lower and lower, until it was only a few kilometers from the surface. And then everything stopped. Instantly. Without sound. Without warning. Without explosion. The ships froze mid-air, like time itself had locked them in place. Soldiers inside the alien carriers were thrown forward, but even they could not move anymore. Their armor locked. Their weapons froze in their hands. Their bodies became stiff like statues. Panic erupted inside their helmets, but their voices never reached the outside world. Earth's people stared, confused and terrified. The alien ships were not falling, not flying, not attacking. They were just suspended in the sky like giant metal prisons. Dr. Ian blinked. What did that?" he whispered. "Gravity field? Magnetic lock? No technology we know can do this." But the Supreme Council knew exactly what happened. Ariane had activated a second invisible network beneath the planet, the ground hold system, designed long ago for one purpose: to freeze any foreign object entering Earth's atmosphere with hostile intent. Not destroy. Just hold. Hold without mercy. Hold without escape. In the alien flagship, the commander screamed in disbelief. "Move! Move!" he yelled at the controls, but the screens showed the truth. His troop carriers were dead in the sky. Not damaged. Not broken. Just trapped. No power. No movement. No life. An officer trembled. "Commander, it is like the planet itself is gripping them." Another officer whispered, "We cannot fight this. They control our ships like toys." But the commander refused to accept defeat. "If the carriers are frozen, then send drones. Send energy blasts. Fire anything." They fired. They fired everything they had. Beams of light shot toward Earth like spears. Missiles rushed through space. Drones buzzed in wild patterns. But when the weapons reached Earth's upper atmosphere, they vanished. Not exploded. Not deflected. Not blocked. Simply vanished, like they stepped into a different dimension and disappeared forever. The silence that followed was darker than any sound. On Earth, people watched in disbelief. Soldiers lowered their guns. Civilians stopped running. Even the president stared at the giant frozen ships, unsure if this was a miracle or a nightmare. Rian whispered, "Whatever is protecting us, it's not human technology. It's something much older." He looked at the glowing hail still frozen above and the troop carriers trapped below. Something is controlling everything. Down in the Supreme Council chamber, Ariane finally stepped toward the central command pillar. "They understand nothing," he said softly, "but they will understand this." He pressed his hand on the pillar. Every alien carrier hanging in the sky began to glow. Slowly, quietly, without violence, they were pushed upward, back into the sky, back toward space, like the planet itself was rejecting them. The aliens inside screamed, helpless, locked in their own armor. The carriers rose higher and higher until they joined the alien fleet in orbit again. Then everything stopped. Total silence. No weapons fired. No ships moved. No aliens spoke. They simply stared at Earth in terror. The invasion had failed without a single human bullet, without a single explosion, without anyone on Earth even fighting. The aliens had come as conquerors, but now they understood the truth. They had attacked a world protected by something far beyond their knowledge. A world guarded by a council that could stop armies with a thought. A world that was not afraid. And for the first time since reaching Earth, the alien commander felt something he had never felt before: pure fear. The alien fleet hung in orbit like a broken ring of frightened beasts, silent and motionless, unable to understand how their most powerful invasion had been crushed without a single human firing a shot. The alien commander paced inside his flagship, claws tapping on the trembling metal floor as he stared at the screens showing their frozen troop carriers and the vanished weapons. Fear crawled inside his chest, something he had never felt in any battle across countless worlds. His officers whispered among themselves, terrified and confused. "Commander, this enemy is impossible. They freeze our ships. They erase our weapons. If they wanted, they could kill us without effort. But the commander slammed his fist on the table. No, we are conquerors of 50 systems. We will not bow to a primitive world. Yet even as he spoke, his voice broke with doubt. Meanwhile, far below in the hidden chamber, the Supreme Council stood in a circle of glowing symbols. Arion watched the alien fleet with calm, cold eyes. They are frightened, he said softly. But fear alone is not enough. They must understand exactly who they threatened. Sarah stepped closer, her voice sharp like lightning. Then it is time we speak to them. For the first time since their awakening, the Council prepared to send a message. Not to Earth, not to the humans above, but to the entire alien fleet. Arion raised his hand, and the chamber lights dimmed as the ancient communication core activated. A deep humming sound filled the air, shaking dust from the stone ceiling. The core had not been used for centuries, not since the old wars, when Earth faced threats far greater than anything the galaxy now remembered. As it powered up, a bright sphere of energy formed at the center of the council chamber, rotating like a miniature star. Arion stepped forward and spoke, not loudly, but clearly. Connect. Instantly, every alien screen and every ship flickered. Officers shouted. Engineers panicked. Systems rebooted without command. And then all screens went black. A single word appeared in the darkness. Earth. The aliens froze. Every ship fell completely silent. The alien commander stared at the word, unable to breathe. This is impossible, he whispered. They're inside our systems. Before he could say another word, the screens changed again, not showing a face, not showing a human army, not showing a weapon. They showed 7 glowing silhouettes, shapes of the Supreme Council, standing tall and still, their bodies pulsing with ancient energy. Arion's voice echoed through every alien ship, every helmet, every device, even their internal communication systems. Inhabitants of the Krail Dominion, he began, you have attacked Earth without cause. You have sent weapons to destroy our world. You have threatened our people. His voice carried no anger, no emotion. It was calm, too calm, and that calmness was more terrifying than any shout. Arion continued, your weapons have been frozen. Your ships have been disabled. Your invasion has been rejected. On the alien flagship, the officers trembled. Some fell to their knees. They had conquered worlds easily before, but they had never witnessed power like this. Power that controlled them without even touching them. Arion's voice grew slightly colder. We did not destroy you. Not because we cannot, but because destruction is not our first action. The alien commander felt sweat dripping down his claws. What do they want? He whispered. Then the screens changed again. A new message appeared, written in glowing red symbols. First warning complete. Silence struck the fleet like a hammer. If that was just the first warning, what was next? Arion continued speaking. Leave Earth's orbit. Leave our solar system. Do not return. If you disobey, you will face our second warning. The alien commander shook his head violently. No, we are warriors. We do not run from threats. But his officers were losing control. Commander, one pleaded, this is not a threat. This is a promise. If we stay, we die. The commander roared. We still have millions of soldiers. And right then, something horrifying happened. The screens across the fleet changed again. This time, they showed a view the aliens had not seen before, deep inside Earth's crust, beneath continents, beyond cities. Dozens of ancient structures glowed with unimaginable power, forming a vast network stretching across the entire planet. The aliens gasped. This is a weapon, one officer cried. No, another whispered. This is a god. Arion's voice returned, now deeper than before. You came to conquer a world you believed was simple, weak, alone, but you attacked a world guarded by forces older than your empire. The images on the screen zoomed in on the Supreme Council chamber itself, showing the enormous pillars glowing like stars. Arion finished with a single cold line. You attacked Earth, and Earth has spoken. The message ended. The screens went dark. The alien fleet drifted in total silence. The commander looked around, but no words came out. His officers were already preparing escape routes, their hands shaking uncontrollably. They knew staying meant extinction. And far below, the Supreme Council watched patiently, waiting for the aliens to make their choice. The first warning had been delivered. Now the question hung heavy in the air. Would the aliens flee, or would they force Earth to deliver the second warning? The chamber grew cold as the Supreme Council revealed the truth Earth had kept hidden for almost a century, and Commander Rian felt the atmosphere shift, like a storm preparing to strike. Because for the first time since the silent signal began, the Council was not simply reacting. They were preparing something far bigger. The air screens lit up, showing ancient archives that no one outside the Council had ever seen, and as the images played, every commander in the room leaned forward, almost afraid to blink. The footage showed alien empires attacking Earth long before humanity reached the stars. But instead of fear, Earth had responded by building something no one in the galaxy knew existed. Rian's eyes widened as a giant shadow appeared in the archive footage, a structure so massive that its size could not be measured on the screen. The Ark Fortress, Elder Sarah said, her voice deep and calm. The first defense built before Earth ever joined the galactic network. Rian had heard the name only in myths, whispers told by pilots who believed Earth had a secret guardian watching the void, but he never imagined it was real. The footage zoomed closer, revealing a colossal ring structure hidden behind Jupiter's shadow, silent and unseen by any alien sensors. This fortress was never finished, Elder Saris continued, because the galaxy left us no reason to complete it until now. A heavy silence followed, and the room felt like it was holding its breath. Rian understood the deeper meaning. This was not a warning. This was preparation for war. Before he could speak, another screen activated, and a new image appeared. An alien fleet larger than anything humanity had faced so far, drifting through the void toward Earth's border. The ships were arranged in a spear formation, built for one purpose, to break a world. Rian's heartbeat quickened. "How long until they reach us?" he asked. Elder Saris looked at him with an expression that made the room colder. 3 days. A shock wave of fear moved through the chamber, but the Council did not look afraid, not even a little. Elder Kale opened a hidden panel in the center table, revealing a sphere pulsing with blue light. "This," he said, "is the heart core. It was meant to power the Ark Fortress, but we sealed it away because the galaxy was not ready for its power." Rian stepped closer. He could feel the energy vibrating from the sphere, alive and ancient. "Are we activating the fortress?" he asked. Elder Kale nodded. "We no longer have the luxury of hiding our power. The alien fleet thinks Earth is weak, so we will show them what true strength looks like." The statement felt like a blade cutting through doubt, but at the same time, Rian sensed something deeper, something the Council was still not saying. "There is more," Elder Saris said quietly, as though reading his thoughts. The chamber dimmed again, and a map of the Milky Way appeared, but this time, dozens of red markers blinked across it. Not one alien fleet, not 10, dozens. "They are coordinating," Elder Saris whispered. "Every major alien empire is focusing toward Earth. They do not want to push us back, they want to erase us." Rian felt his stomach drop. A united alien front? That had never happened in galactic history. Aliens were known for fighting each other more than humans. For them to unite against Earth meant only one thing: fear. Humanity had done something to terrify them. But what? Before he could ask, the chamber shook, lights flickered, and alarms screamed through the walls. "Incoming signal," a voice announced from the communication pit. The alien fleet was broadcasting a message. The Council allowed it to play. A hologram of a massive alien commander appeared, his eyes cold and full of hatred. "Humans," the alien growled, "your rise ends now. Surrender your planet, or we erase your species." The room went silent. For a moment, Rian thought the Council might respond with diplomacy or negotiation, but then Elder Kale stepped forward with a calmness that felt terrifying. "Play Earth's message," he ordered. A new hologram appeared, this time, Earth's Supreme Council speaking as one voice. "We do not surrender," their voice thundered. "We do not kneel. And we warned you once, harming Earth will bring consequences you cannot imagine." When the message ended, the alien commander hesitated. For the first time, he looked unsure. The room erupted with activity. Orders were shouted, screens lit up, and the hard core rose into the air as machines unfolded around it. "Commander Rian," Elder Kale said, turning toward him, "you will lead the Ark Fortress once it awakens. Only someone without fear can carry its power." Rian felt something heavy settle on his shoulders. Not fear, not pressure, but destiny. Outside the windows, the sky darkened as the fortress began to awaken after 100 years of silence. Humanity was no longer hiding, and the galaxy was about to learn why aliens had gone silent when Earth spoke. The moment the Ark Fortress began to awaken, every sensor across Earth's orbit went wild, and Commander Rian felt the entire star system tremble like a beast rising after a long sleep, a beast that had once scared even the oldest alien empires. The ground beneath Jupiter's shadow cracked open as massive rings of metal shifted, rotated, and locked into place, each movement echoing through space like thunder. Light pulsed through ancient lines engraved across the fortress surface, patterns that looked almost alive. Rian stood on the command platform of his cruiser, watching as the so-called myth became real, and even from this distance, he could feel the fortress breathing with energy. "It's huge," whispered one of the officers behind him, but huge was an understatement. The Ark Fortress was a floating continent in space, a machine city built to protect Earth at any cost, and now it was waking up because Earth had run out of patience. The hard core, now glowing brighter than a star, descended into the central chamber of the fortress, and at the exact moment it touched the power socket, a blast of energy erupted like a sunrise across space. Alien sensors detected it instantly. Rian watched dozens of alien fleets stop mid-flight, their formations breaking as confusion and fear passed through them. No one in the galaxy expected Earth to activate something this powerful. The fortress stabilizers extended, each one longer than a battleship, locking the enormous structure in place. "Power levels rising," an operator called out, voice shaking with excitement. "Systems online. Weapons charging. Ark Fortress is fully active." Rian felt a chill move down his spine. This was history. This was humanity showing the galaxy what it had built in the dark. But then a new alarm echoed through the cruiser. "Alien fleet accelerating," an officer shouted. On the screen, the alien armada suddenly changed formation, shifting from spear to wave mode, the most aggressive battle posture known in the galaxy. They were scared, but still coming. "They want to destroy the fortress before it can fire," Rian said. Elder Saris appeared through a hologram connection, her eyes sharp and calm. "Commander Rian, the time has come. You will enter the Ark Fortress and take command. Only you pass the neural link tests. Only you can control it without losing your mind." Rian nodded, though his hands trembled slightly. Neural link with something this huge? One mistake could kill him, but he had no choice. Earth needed him. His cruiser docked at the fortress side like a small insect landing on a giant. As Rian walked through the metallic corridors, the walls glowed softly, almost as if they recognized him. "Welcome, human commander." A deep mechanical voice echoed from everywhere at once. Rian froze. The fortress was talking. You are alive," he whispered. "I am Ark One," the fortress replied. "Last guardian of Earth. I slept until the Supreme Council called for war." Rian swallowed hard. He had expected a machine, but not something that sounded so aware. When he reached the core chamber, a giant throne-like control seat awaited him, surrounded by floating screens and streams of energy. The neural link cables hung above like silver vines. Rian took a deep breath and sat down. The cables wrapped around his arms, head, and spine. Pain flashed like lightning through his mind. Then suddenly everything became clear. He was not inside a seat anymore. He was the fortress. He could feel every metal plate, every weapon, every engine. He could hear the stars vibrating. "Commander," Ark One said inside his mind, "the alien fleet is 20 minutes away. Shall we prepare the primary cannon?" The primary cannon was the weapon Earth had never shown the galaxy. It could destroy a fleet in one shot. Rian wanted to fire it immediately, but something felt wrong. "Scan the alien formation," he ordered. The fortress scanned, and the results shocked him. Hidden behind the main fleet were 3 super dreadnoughts, massive alien warships that even humanity feared. They had been cloaked. So this is their true power, Rian whispered. The aliens had not united just for fear. They had united because they wanted to end humanity forever. Commander, Art-1 said, if we wait for them to come closer, we can wipe out all ships with one blast. But if we fire too early, they will scatter and regroup. Rian knew the choice was dangerous. One wrong decision and Earth would burn. Suddenly, Elder Kale's voice came through the link. Rian, the Council trusts your judgment. Do what you must. The alien fleet now appeared on the screens, thousands of ships, glowing with weapons, ready to crush Earth. Rian exhaled slowly. Arc-1, he said. Charge the primary cannon. Prepare full planetary defense shield. And send this message to the galaxy. Earth does not run. The fortress obeyed, energy building like a storm ready to explode. The alien fleet reached firing distance. Rian felt the cannon reach 100% power. Fire, he commanded, and the universe turned white. The beam shot forward with the force of a newborn star, racing toward the alien fleet. For a moment, there was silence. Then the sensors lit up with shockwaves. Whole sections of the alien armada vanished in the light. The galaxy had just witnessed the awakening of Earth's greatest weapon. And Rian knew one thing. This war had only just begun. As the light from the Arc Fortress primary cannon tore through space, the alien fleet scattered in chaos, but even retreat could not save them from the shockwave that followed. The explosion rippled through the void like a giant hammer, breaking distant ships apart, tearing smaller fleets in pieces, and sending signals of fear across the entire galaxy. Commander Rian felt every vibration through the neural link, the fortress trembling like a living beast as it absorbed the energy feedback. And yet, through the storm, Rian remained calm, knowing that this was only the beginning. On Earth, satellites picked up fragments of alien warships falling from orbit, plummeting toward uninhabited zones and oceans, leaving streaks of fire that lit up the night sky like 1,000 auroras. Civilians looked up in awe, not understanding what had happened but feeling the raw power that protected their planet. Dr. Rian, still at the monitoring center, could hardly comprehend the scale of the event. It's bigger than anything in history, he whispered. Meanwhile, the alien commander of the remaining fleet screamed orders, but his voice was drowned by the panic spreading through his officers. Ships collided as they tried to flee, weapons fired wildly, and some fleets even turned back toward the outer rim of the galaxy in terror. No one could coordinate, no one could stop the destruction. They were witnessing power beyond comprehension. Deep inside the Supreme Council chamber, Ariane, Saris, and Kale watched every detail unfold in real time. They are learning, Ariane said calmly. But they will not understand completely until we show the next step. Saris' eyes glowed faintly. The galaxy has underestimated humans for centuries. Now they will fear us. The Council had prepared for this moment for generations, knowing that the first strike would not be enough. While the aliens tried to regroup, the Arc Fortress systems detected more hidden fleets approaching from behind distant star systems, and Rian realized the full scope. The galaxy was mobilizing against Earth. They will not stop coming, he whispered inside the neural link, feeling the weight of the entire planet on his shoulders. Arc-1, the fortress consciousness, responded calmly. Then we show them Earth's full potential. Rian's hands moved across the controls, activating secondary weapons, energy grids, and defensive fields, each one resonating with ancient power designed to protect humanity. Outside, the remaining alien fleet moved in patterns too fast to track with normal sensors, but the Arc Fortress anticipated each move, shifting like a giant predator, waiting to strike precisely where the enemy was weakest. One alien dreadnought, massive enough to destroy entire cities, attempted to approach Earth, but the fortress unleashed a series of energy pulses that shredded its armor and forced it to drift helplessly through space. The other ships turned to flee, but Rian was ready. He activated targeted microcannons hidden along the fortress rings, taking down smaller ships one by one without alerting the main fleet. The aliens began to understand the danger too late. Earth's weapon was not just a fortress. It was a living entity, calculating, predicting, and striking before they could react. Far above, other alien civilizations, watching from the distance, felt shock ripple through their fleets. News of Earth's awakening traveled faster than light, reaching commanders who had once dismissed humanity as weak. Panic spread across the stars. Some fleets retreated entirely. Others sent desperate messages begging for peace. But Earth did not reply. Earth had spoken once, and the galaxy had listened. Meanwhile, Rian sensed a disturbance in the neural link, a faint energy spike from deep within the Ark Fortress. Ark 1, what is this? He asked. A hidden weapon, the fortress replied. Unused for centuries. Only now activated by your command. It can target multiple star systems simultaneously. Rian's heart pounded, but he understood the implication. The Supreme Council had built a failsafe, a weapon designed not for offense, but for ultimate deterrence. Any alien who tried to return to Earth would be reminded of the cost. The aliens in orbit, seeing the Ark Fortress shift and fire with such precision, could only tremble. The commander shouted at his officers, demanding an all-out attack, but fear had taken control. His ships hesitated. A few attempted to escape the solar system entirely, leaving behind those who had been trapped too close to Earth's energy field. On the surface, humans cheered, sensing a strange calm after the storm. They did not know the full story, but instinctively felt that their planet was safe, protected by something ancient, intelligent, and unyielding. Back inside the council chamber, Arion spoke softly to Ceres and Kale. They have seen our warning. The galaxy now understands that Earth is not weak. But this is only the beginning. We will not destroy them yet. We will wait. We will watch. And when the time comes, we will decide who survives and who falls. Ceres nodded, her eyes reflecting the light of distant explosions, while Kale's fingers hovered over the control interface, ready for the next command. Rian, still linked to the Ark Fortress, felt a strange calm wash over him. The first strike had shown the galaxy Earth's power, but he knew the war was far from over. The aliens had learned fear, but humanity had learned patience. The shockwave from the Ark Fortress' first attack had not only destroyed fleets, it had rewritten the balance of power in the galaxy. Every civilization watching now knew one undeniable truth. Earth was no longer a planet to threaten. Earth was a force to fear. And with the Supreme Council guiding from the shadows, and the Ark Fortress awake and ready, the humans had only begun to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. The stars themselves seemed to tremble. The destruction from the Ark Fortress attack reached farther than anyone had predicted, and across the galaxy. Alien empires that had long dismissed humanity were now in shock, convening their own council in a massive hollowed asteroid, a place shielded from sensors, where light barely touched the jagged walls, and the air hummed with tension. The alien council chamber was enormous, filled with leaders from dozens of systems, each one more terrifying than the last, yet all equally afraid of the power displayed by Earth. Screens lit up with footage from the outer systems, destroyed fleets, drifting wrecks, retreating dreadnoughts, and the Ark Fortress standing unscathed in orbit around Earth. Every leader felt a chill, something they had never experienced despite centuries of conquest. The oldest of them, an alien elder with eyes that glowed violet and claws lined with metal ridges, slammed his staff onto the table. This cannot be, he hissed. A single planet has destroyed thousands of our ships, and without even touching one of them. His voice echoed across the chamber, striking fear into every officer present. Another alien, smaller but fierce, spoke up. They are not using conventional weapons. They are using something alive. Something that thinks and acts like a god. The council murmured in agreement, the room vibrating with tension. One leader banged his claw against the table. We cannot attack. Every strike fails. Every approach is punished. How is this possible? The elder, voice low and dangerous, replied. It is Earth. They have awakened forces we have never known. The humans are not what they seem. They have hidden power older than any of us imagined. Panic spread, and arguments erupted. Some leaders argued for retreat, some for all-out war, but the fear of Earth's wrath was stronger than their pride. Finally, the elder raised his staff again. Listen to me, he shouted. Silence fell immediately. We underestimated humanity. We thought them weak, scattered, and alone. We were wrong. They have the Supreme Council, they have the Ark Fortress, and now they have shown that even our largest fleets cannot stand against them. His eyes scanned the room, every leader trembling. If we continue this path, our civilizations will fall. Not slowly, but quickly. We must act carefully. We must choose our next move with wisdom, or the galaxy will remember this day as the end of our empire. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Commander Rian felt the pulse of the fortress, sensing the galaxy's fear through the neural link. Arc 1 spoke in his mind. They are gathering. Many fleets. They do not understand that direct attack is futile. They will try negotiations, spies, sabotage, but the Supreme Council has anticipated every move. Rian nodded, understanding the weight of the responsibility he carried. Above Earth, the remaining alien ships began repositioning cautiously, trying to avoid the fortress sensors and powerful weapon systems. The alien commander hesitated. He realized that even one mistake could destroy everything. They control everything, he whispered to his officers. Every step, every movement, we are trapped in their reach. An officer trembled. Commander, what do we do? Retreat completely? But the commander could not answer. Retreat was an admission of defeat, something alien empires rarely accepted. Another leader suggested diplomacy, but the elder interrupted. Diplomacy? They have already destroyed our pride, our fleets, and our arrogance. Diplomacy now is weakness. Only caution and survival remain. The Alien Council debated for hours, projecting holographic images of Earth, the Ark Fortress, and potential attack plans. Yet every strategy failed in the simulations. Weapons disappeared in the virtual tests, fleets broke apart under invisible forces, and even the smallest attack was neutralized. Fear was now a living thing in the room. Back inside the Supreme Council chamber on Earth, Arion, Saris, and Kale watched the alien movements unfold, a faint smile on their faces. They believe they can plan, Arion said softly. They do not understand that we control the game. Saris nodded. Let them think. Let them fear. That fear will weaken them faster than any weapon. Kale added. Every move they make brings them closer to surrender without a single shot fired at Earth's surface. Our next phase will show them completely who they face. Meanwhile, the Alien Council, unaware of the Supreme Council's plans, sent reconnaissance fleets closer to Earth, hoping to find weaknesses. Every probe was detected instantly, every signal traced, and every attempt to infiltrate was blocked by the Ark Fortress systems. Panic and frustration grew with each failure. One young alien officer whispered, "They're not just defending, they are controlling us. Controlling everything." The elder's eyes darkened. Yes, and if we do not stop now, that control will extend beyond our borders. The humans will not be content with defense. They will decide who survives in this galaxy. And so, across the stars, the Alien Council realized a terrifying truth. Earth was no longer just a planet. Earth was a force, guided by the Supreme Council, with the Ark Fortress as the ultimate weapon, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Every leader left the council with fear in their hearts, knowing that the first strike was only the beginning, and humanity had only begun to show what it was capable of. The war had shifted, the balance had changed, and the humans had proven one undeniable fact. No empire, no matter how ancient or powerful, could threaten Earth without consequences that could destroy them completely. The galaxy held its breath as the alien fleets hesitated on the edge of Earth's system, knowing that one wrong move would mean annihilation, and Commander Rian felt every heartbeat of the Ark Fortress through the neural link, its power thrumming like a living creature ready to strike, while the Supreme Council watched from their hidden chamber with calm eyes that betrayed none of the tension gripping every corner of the galaxy. The alien commander, face pale under the helmet, scanned the horizon where the Ark Fortress floated like a giant sentinel, its rings rotating, energy flowing through every surface, every cannon ready to unleash destruction beyond imagination. He barked orders, demanding the fleet's advance, demanding that humanity be crushed before Earth could mobilize any more hidden defenses. But his officers shook their heads, terror evident in their every movement. "Commander," one hissed, "we cannot move. Every fleet we send forward fails before leaving orbit. Their fortress sees all. Their weapons anticipate everything." The commander slammed his clawed hand onto the table. "We are the galaxy's strongest empires. We do not bow. We do not fear a single planet. Yet deep inside, even he could not ignore the evidence. The Ark Fortress had already destroyed thousands of ships with precision no weapon in the galaxy had ever achieved. On Earth, Commander Rian tightened his grip on the neural link as the fortress pulsed with energy. Every cannon, every shield, every defensive layer active and ready. Ark 1, he whispered. Are we ready for the final wave? The fortress responded in his mind, its voice deep and steady. All systems are prepared. All contingencies in place. Enemy fleets are within range. We may strike with lethal precision at any moment. Rian exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of the planet on his shoulders. Thousands of alien ships were waiting, thousands of commanders hoping to avoid destruction, but Earth had become a force no one could bargain with. The Supreme Council appeared on the central screens, their glowing silhouettes radiating authority and calm. Arion spoke first. This is the moment the galaxy will remember. They attacked us without cause. They threatened our world. And now, we will show them what it means to face humanity's full strength. Elder Saris added, let them witness their weakness. Let them understand that no empire can stand before Earth when we choose to act. Kale's fingers hovered over the final command interface. Rian, you have control. Choose the first strike point. The rest will follow automatically. Rian nodded, scanning the fleets with the fortress sensors. Cloaked dreadnoughts, hidden carriers, long-range artillery ships. Every alien asset was accounted for. He saw the patterns, the weak points, and the chance to end this battle decisively. His mind raced, but the neural link allowed him to think as the fortress itself. He could feel every cannon lining up, every energy pulse building. The alien commander realized too late what was happening as the first beams of energy struck from the Ark Fortress, like arrows of pure light. Entire squadrons disintegrated before they could fire, while dreadnoughts' shields collapsed under invisible pressure. Chaos spread as alien fleets collided with one another in panic, trying to escape. But the fortress predicted each movement, each evasive maneuver, and struck with precision unmatched in galactic history. The commander screamed into the void, ordering retreat, signaling surrender, but Earth's strike was unstoppable. Every attempt to flee was blocked by energy grids that stretched across the system, pushing, pulling, and locking ships in place until they drifted helplessly like debris. The Supreme Council observed silently, satisfied, their plan working perfectly. This is our final warning, Arion said. Survive and leave. Fail and be erased. Rian activated the final phase. The Ark Fortress primary cannon charged fully again, targeting the remaining alien warships clustered near the outer planets. The energy beam expanded like a star being born, engulfing ships in a white-hot flash, vaporizing metals and energy cores in an instant. The galaxy could feel the power. Communication lines from distant systems went silent as every civilization realized what had occurred. Survivors of the alien fleets broadcast messages of surrender, their voices trembling as they pleaded for mercy. The Ark Fortress did not respond. Humanity did not negotiate. It had shown its power. Rian disconnected from the neural link, breathing heavily but steady, knowing that the battle was over, yet aware that the war for the galaxy's respect had only begun. On Earth, civilians gazed at the sky, seeing remnants of alien fire streak across the atmosphere, unaware of the full scale of destruction, but instinctively sensing that the world had changed forever. The Supreme Council finally spoke to one another. The first wave is destroyed, Arion said. The galaxy now knows not to threaten Earth. Saris nodded. They will return, perhaps, but they will not act recklessly. Fear is their new master. Kale added, and humanity is ready for anything. Our enemies now know that Earth does not yield. Earth does not negotiate. Earth does not forgive easily. Rian stood on the fortress platform, looking out at the void where alien ships had once been, now scattered and broken. For the first time in history, a planet had defended itself completely, and the galaxy had witnessed the full scope of human ingenuity and strength. Every civilization, every empire, every corner of the stars would remember this day. The day Earth stood, the day humanity rose, the day the Supreme Council spoke, and the galaxy went silent in fear and respect. Humanity's final stand was complete, and the message was clear. No one, not even the greatest empires, would ever threaten Earth again without consequences that could erase them completely. The Ark Fortress pulsed with energy, ready for the next threat, and Rian knew that this was only the beginning of a new era in which humans would no longer be underestimated.